Hi, I'm Susanna Bowling, and this is live from the Hotel Edison. Times Square Chronicles presents. When I was a little girl growing up in California, I wanted a Huffy bike more than anything else in the world. And the reason why was because Wonderama had Huffy bikes, and to me, that was the epitome of all New York. Years and years and years go past, and now I'm finally with Wonderama. I'd like to introduce my guest today, Chuck Armstrong, Charles Armstrong, the producer and the reason Wonderama is back, and his son, Chucky, who is a kid interviewer, personality, and host. Welcome to Wonderama. Chuck, how did you get Wonderama back on the air?
Well, you're defined by what you do and people say you can't. And I was meeting with a friend of mine named Rich Russo, who's from New Jersey. And I was talking to him about a show called Community Auditions, which was kind of like the Wonderama of New England. And he goes, forget that. You should do Wonderama. I go, what's Wonderama? And he goes, only the best show I've ever watched. It had The Who on there. It had ABBA's first U.S. appearance, Elton John's first U.S. appearance. And it also had Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier doing a marble fight, which actually predicted the winner of the 1971 fight at Madison Square Garden. So it was really a popular culture wheel for kids. So I went back to my office, and my business partner, Paul Marshall, a very famous entertainment attorney, goes, oh, you'll never get the rights. So from 2009 to 2011 is when I picked up the rights, and we shot our first series of shows in 2016. We're going into our 9th season, and we've done 178 programs. So it's, and we have a Huffy bike for someone coming very soon.
Oh, do you really?
I do. I actually, it's funny because people from Los Angeles, like yourself, the two things I always hear is they say Wonderama as opposed to Wonderama, and also that they all wanted that bike. And so I've always been kind of afraid to bring bikes on the show because I figure people will come to the house. But I would love to bring you your Huffy bike.
Well, the answer is that we only had Schwinn's. And so...
Oh, that's right, because Schwinn didn't... Yeah. You're right. Huffy was only on the East Coast.
To me, it was the epitome. If I had a Huffy bike, I was a New Yorker, even though I lived in California.
Well, you've come full circle, see? So you deserve your Huffy. But the reason the show has been such a success, we started in 2 markets, now we're in 116, is because of the people that are on the show, like David Osmond, who's Donnie Marie's nephew, and this wonderful host called Wonderama-Chucky, who actually works for food. All kidding aside, Chucky's really grown up with the show, and he's the spokesperson for Wonderama U. So each week, we're education informational. We do a little bit about something so kids can learn, but we don't tell them it's educational, so we call it like spinach au gratin. But he's done everything from interview the person that's building the TSX Broadway building to interviewing Rob Santos, who's head of the Census Bureau, where kids can find out about different things on careers for free.
How did you become a host for Wonderama, other than the fact that your dad is the guy that owns it?
Well, I think one day he had a video camera and he was like, can we just try something, I think. And from then on, I guess I was a TV host. But I really enjoyed doing it. It's really cool to meet all sorts of groups of people, whether you're head of the U.S. Census Bureau or you're the head of a construction management. It's just really cool to see everyone and kind of what they do.
Was this ever what your dream was to do, or did this just automatically come?
Well, when I was younger, you grew up with Wonderama. I kind of grew up with America's Funniest Home Videos, and my favorite host, as you can attest, was Tom Bergeron. And I always thought it was cool just to be that kind of personality, like you talk to people watching and they kind of respond just by looking at you in a way. So I thought it was kind of cool.
Like, did you ever grow up wanting to be a host? Because I know when I was a kid, I used to dream that I got 3 wishes and the wishes were on the wall. And one of my wishes was always to host like a TV variety show where I could sing and dance and have the guests on. I never really knew that this was what I wanted to do, but it was like, oh, this could be fun.
I always did like the shows in school, whether it was like The Lion King or Peter Pan, and I always just love entertaining people in a way. Like in The Lion King, I was Timon, which is like the comedic relief and otherwise a Hamlet-esque play. So I thought it was just fun to almost get a laugh out of people. And I just find it's really cool just to almost show people like this is what America is and almost act as like a TV personality, whether entertaining or providing insight on a new thing. Like we did One World Trade Center, I think, not too long ago. That's popped into my mind. And I just think it's really cool just to go different places and meet new people.
Of all the people that you've interviewed, which one is your favorite?
Oh, I think one of my first interviews was the guy from TSX Broadway, Robert Israel. And he was really cool because he was lifting up the building behind us. So I thought that was kind of cool because it was like right back there. I was like, oh, and you could hear the construction in the background. I really thought that was kind of cool.
Who would you like to interview?
Tom Bergeron. No,
Who's Tom Bergeron?
the former host of America's Funniest Home Videos. Who would I like to interview? I would love to interview maybe like politicians or musicians because those are things I really am interested in, like politics and music. Like one of my idols is Paul McCartney, who we saw in concert. That'd be really fun to do an interview with Sir Paul McCartney.
Where do you see your career going, and where would you like this to propel you?
Well, I'd like to stay on Wonderama. I like Wonderama, and I would love just to be almost like a Tom Bergeron, kind of like America's host in a way, and I would just love to be almost a voice of the people.
Wait, have you even thought of doing like America's Funniest Home Videos by kids? That could be really fun.
Well, Vin DeBona is a friend of the program, so whatever we do, Vin, it'll be through you. But yeah, I mean, actually, it's funny because the show that I did in New England, which was called Community Auditions, Vin DeBona, who does America's Funniest Home Videos, things come full circle. Somebody walked off and they said, "Would you like to direct?" And he went, "Sure." And that's his first directorial debut was on that show. So when I met him, because Chucky's a big fan, I brought him a trophy from Community Auditions, which he still has in his office. But he's been just such a wonderful person, found us our editor. I mean, he's just a great friend of the show. So the nice thing is Chucky already loved his show, right? So that's we have a great relationship with America's Funniest Home Videos.
So wait, you've already met your idol.
He's met him. I haven't yet.
Yeah, I met him with Marie Osmond, and he was such a cool, nice guy. And then Vin he's literally one of the coolest human beings in the world, has a really nice house in Newport, Rhode Island, if you want to go by. And then obviously has his a beautiful car and home in California. So, but it's all about, with Wonderama, getting back to it, it's all about letting kids know, hey, I can do that too. And inspiring them to say, look, here are ways that you can get there. You're going to have to do the work, but try to give them those tools.
I think one of the things that happens in America is that we grow up as kids that think, oh, we can do anything. Like I honestly didn't think that I couldn't be an astronaut, or didn't think, not that I wanted to, I did not. I wanted to be a jockey, actually. Really? I did. Cool. The day that I grew too tall, I cried. But yeah, I no one ever told me I couldn't. It wasn't until I got older that I had teachers and adults that went, no, you can't.
You know, it's funny. When we first started the show, a friend of mine, Jeffrey Holder, the Uncola Man, one of my favorite people in the whole world. But he said when he was a kid, he was told by a teacher that he was a stutterer, that he couldn't ever talk. So he taught himself how to sing talk, much like James Earl Jones. And it was all in reaction to someone telling him no. And so it's many times you're defined, as I've said before, by what people say you can't do, and you do anyway. We're just trying to allow kids to have just a vehicle where they can see themselves and go, hey, that could be me. What we're proudest about and didn't even try is we index at 3-to-1 and 2-to-1 in delivering homes of color across the U.S. because people see themselves in the audience and on the show. And, David Osmond, we're so blessed. He's a guy that's literally got full-blown MS and is a walking miracle. He was in a wheelchair at 26. And so it's all about, hey, if he can get up there and do this, we can inspire other kids to do stuff as well.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like the most is finding people that may not have been the perfect choice for whatever they wanted to do. Me. And end up doing it.
Right. Well, one of the things that, I try to teach my son is that if it's to be, it's up to yourself, right? And that if you can't complain if something doesn't happen if you didn't try it yourself. And, George, the actor George, what's the guy that played Batman that doesn't want to talk about it? Clooney, right. George Clooney said he never learned anything from success. He learned it from failure. So I've got lots of great lessons. But it's all about how can you create something that at the end of the day, we're all going to be dead. You say, I left something good for someone else. And so that's what we try to do every day. For example, the Wonder Games, which are coming here July 22nd through 26th. I'm sorry. But it's all about allowing people to participate while the Olympics are going. Here are games that you can play. But I'm sorry. Did I jumpstart you?
No. I was going to ask Chucky, actually, about the Wonder Games. Chucky, what are the Wonder Games, and can you describe them to our audience, and when they're coming to Times Square?
So they're coming to Times Square the last Thursday and Friday of July. And what we're trying to do is, with the Olympics happening, as you said, we're trying to give kids games that they can play, almost like you can do this too, whether it's like, well, I don't know, are we allowed to tell any of the games?
There's a very famous sport in Japan that they don't have at the Olympics. Do you know what that is, Chuck?
Sumo wrestling.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be there, but I do know that we'll have sumo suits for the kids. But it's all about games from around the world that people haven't seen, but that they can play as well, just to make it a little cool. That's all.
So wait, they're going to have on like huge fat suits and bounce on each other?
Well, yes, but of course it'll be very safe. Yeah, and it's really the hottest growing sport, at least with our demo, is this World Championship Sumo. And, kids love it. And it's kind of like, I don't know whose phone that is, but I apologize. But it's really something that's taking at least the New York area by storm. And we're glad that hopefully they'll work with us to create something for the children.
So wait, do they jump on trampolines so that they can really get that advantage?
No.
That would be so much fun.
It's actually a really good idea, but we are in Times Square. We don't want them going out into traffic. So we've got a 24-foot round stage that you'll be able to see from all throughout Times Square and lights and all that. And it's going to be just a great thing for the kids to actually play against each other. And we've got different camps coming in from around New York.
Oh, my God, how fun. What other games are there, or can you not talk about the games?
Okay, we're going to let everything out. Well, it is you, so I can let it out of the bag. So there's some of our traditional, Circle of Pies, which is kind of fun. We're going to have celebrities this time. And
Who?
I'm not allowed to say, but they are from Broadway. And so that's going to be tied in with a traditional game they play every show. And then we also we're bringing back Snake in the Can, which is a show. That's how you won the Huffy Bike last time, was if you got the snake in the can with the flowers. And then we also have something to do with breakdancing. And then we're doing something with esports with the Esports World Championship.
Now, wait, are you doing any of the sports that are in the Olympics?
Well, there's one that we haven't finalized yet, but breakdancing is coming in. So we're in the process of trying to put that together, but all the best New York breakdancers are in Paris. So we might do something and then, record it later. But it's all about just allowing kids to participate, have fun, and then just realize that these are sports that they can play too.
I think you should do synchronized swimming in kiddie pools.
That's actually a really great idea. You know what? No, I'm sorry, I hit your microphone. That's a great idea. Okay,
I'm sorry, but wouldn't that be really fun? I'm thinking of things that kids would like that are crazy, but also tie in with the Olympics. It would be very YouTube worthy and TikTok worthy. What is your favorite sport?
I always liked baseball, and he kind of forced me into that, but I liked being forced into it, so.
It seems like you have a very great father-son relationship.
We do. Well, I like my dad, and hopefully he likes me, I think.
I mean, it's not often that you have somebody that's better than you with you all the time, and he's better than me. So, no, he is. And, he comes to school in Manhattan every day. He gets on the 6:40 train, commuting with other people's parents. He's a lot more mature than I am.
You cannot be on Wonderama all your life. unfortunately. Or is this a bad thing?
No, you're in charge.
But what else? What other dreams do you have?
Well, I really like music, as my dad can attest. I love playing guitar, and I also love playing bass. I did that in middle school.
You got a banjo?
Oh, I got a banjo today. For free, I guess. But I really love music, and I'm passionate about that. I also really love politics because, I mean, our school has a thing called the HERN, which is like the speech and debate club, and it's the most fierce speech and debate club basically on the eastern seaboard, would you say? Yeah. So I just love politics, I love music, and I love Wonderama.
I love the fact that you love politics in this day and age. Is it hard to be a kid and see what's going on in this country?
That's a heavy question. Some things are bad and some things are good in the majority of politics, or basically in anything. So when looking at it as a kid's perspective, you just kind of have to take the good with the bad. And while there's some things I disagree with, some things I agree with, overall, it's what's going to happen. So I don't really say if it's good or bad. It's just what's going to happen.
Yeah, this is why I could never get into politics, because I was like, no, we got to change this. If you could interview any politician, who would you like to interview?
Ooh, maybe Bill Clinton. I like Bill Clinton because he was a good saxophone player, and it ties into music. I thought that was a good answer.
And if you could interview any musician, who would it be?
Either Paul McCartney or Ringo Starr. I'm a big Beatles fan. I love John Lennon. I love Paul McCartney, George, and Ringo. It's the best band ever, and he introduced me to them, and I would just love to meet them if I could.
What would you like our audience to know about Wonderama?
Well, it's for kids and by kids, and we're just trying to inspire my generation and those younger and a little bit older than me that they can do that too. Because, without Wonderama, I wasn't really inspired to do anything, whether music or politics. And when it comes down to it, it's like you see other people who are successful, and they kind of reach out to kids in whatever field they may be in. But it's cool to see what they do and how they do good for others.
And what advice do you have to kids?
To quote Journey, don't stop believing. But really, don't give up. Dream big dreams. Like, I want to be a musician. Hopefully, I dream about that. I hope about that. And, just don't give up on your hopes and dreams.
I was just at the Jimmy Awards, which is the National Musical Theater Awards. And the kids that were there were the most talented people I've ever seen. I'm like, oh my God. And it was kind of like Free Willy, when you watch Free Willy jump over, because they were so talented. I'm like crying because they were so talented. Do you ever get like that when you see people?
Well, it's cool to see people who are good at what they're doing, because it inspires you to, hey, I can do that too. As Wonderama says, kids can do that too. It's not limited by age almost. It's limited by almost your own, like your environment in a way. And as Wonderama, we're just trying to say we can do that too. But it is cool to see people who can do what they do really good.
It's inspirational.
Really well. Yeah, okay.
Oh my God, you're like my mom.
Well, No, but what's amazing is I've seen Chucky grow there was a kid last year that is coming back named Stefan Benz, and he was 16. He came from South Africa, and he was just, when you see you're a professional. When you see someone that's just kind of bigger than life, but you can relate to them, and he's one of those kids, and he's been inspired by a lot of the folks that are on the show.
Yeah, people get mad at me, but you either have the it factor or you don't.
That's what it's called, right? I'd never put a word to it, but yeah, the it thing.
Yeah, you can't describe it. I mean, and you can't teach it, and you can be talented and you can go past it, but there's some people that just have it, and you're like, oh, I want to know them.
Like Errol, our friend Errol. Yes. No, but it's funny. You should write a book on it. I mean, that would not Stephen King, but that's something where we always said this, that you just can't teach talent. It's either there or it isn't. But there's a lot of super amazing talented people, but most people are held back by themselves. And what we want to try to do is allow them to not have that problem.
What's next on your agenda?
Well, after the Wonder Games in Times Square, shameless plug, Times Square has been so great to us, and you have too, and thank you. But they've embraced us because it is a top tourist destination in America, and we're excited about what's coming up. We've got the Family Halloween Parade, which is coming up in October. Then we're participating with the Wonderama Winter Wonderland, where they're doing the snow globes, something that the Times Square Alliance started. And then we're the official New Year's Eve family broadcast for One Times Square in the Ball. In the spring, we're coming up with new things for a spring fling. But the thing I'm excited about is we're trying to put something together with the Artemis mission. And Sherry White's been amazing at One Times Square because she's going to turn the ball into the Mars and into the moon, which is just orange, or red and white. But it sounds great, right? But it's all about celebrating the fact that we're actually going back to the stars. And that's hugely inspiring to kids. And there's this huge space economy that's coming forward that, kids his age and younger should really participate in. So that's where we've kind of got up on the dais.
One of my friends, Roger Shishel, his artwork went to the moon. He's part of that group that's up in the moon.
Really? My uncle Roger Messier, may he rest in peace, was in charge of recovery for Apollo. So he named a crater for my grandfather, Messier, on the backside of the moon. You can't see it, but it's there, I promise. But it's always been, when I was a kid, we had the flight suits and all that. And there's something about space that just is truly inspiring to kids. So we're hoping that we can help, get the next generation of female and male astronauts.
That just sounds like a plug for Star Trek to me.
Yeah. Well, you joined the Space Force. No, but it's all about, there's this, the one thing that seems to bring the world together so far has been space, right? So we've had all these issues here, but the International Space Station has all these different countries. So it's really good for us because it shows people, hey, this is something where we can all work together.
I'm so sorry, but if you get into a fight in space, you're floating off. So I don't think anyone's going to get into a fight.
That's true. That's true. But from now on, it's all about how do we create things that are destination New York, but are connecting people around the country to what's going on here. And so we've been, like I said, Tom Harris and the folks at the Times Square Alliance have been hugely helpful. And our friend George Stombilly, who put the first video sign up in Times Square. But the greatest person for us has really been the Times Square Chronicles. And Suzanne, I'm telling you, you've been there from us from the beginning, and we thank you.
You are so more than welcome. Chucky, let's tell them again how they can get involved with Wonderama Wonder Games.
Well, check out WondoramaTV.com for more information about Wonderama. And on the last week of July, clear your calendar because we're going to have fun in Times Square.
I am Susanna Bowling. I would like to thank Magda Katz, who always makes us look good and sound good. I'd like to thank Errol Rappaport for bringing Chuck and Chucky. I am thankful to Romel Gopez for always letting us have the Hotel Edison and being on our side. And this is live from the Hotel Edison, Times Square Chronicles presents. Thank you.